Alright, today I'm going to be talking about the most overpowered attack mechanic in this game, and that is Battlemage Cry with strength stacking. I have 1800 strength-ish, and I'm doing, I don't know, a couple million DPS, nothing wild. But one of the best things about this is it really does work on any build with any attack skill. You're going to want, if you want to go crit, you can grab one of these helmets with 1% increased critical strike chance per 10 strength, and then gain accuracy equal to your strength. That'll open up a lot of options. Like if you don't want to use precision, you don't have to, which is why I'm not low life, because I don't need to use precision. And then you want to get one of these weapons. If you want the most ideal weapon, you don't want chaos damage, you want lightning damage, but it's a lot easier to roll that chaos damage. So a lot of them are going to have the chaos damage, but if you want to go super nice, you get lightning damage instead, and that's because volatility support works extremely well with these boots to give you 1 to 80 chaos per 80 strength. And I'm at 1600, so you know, just add a 0 and then multiply by 2. So I got 1 to 1600 chaos damage from this boots, assuming I did all that math correct in my head. Now there's a couple downsides to this build. One of them is the movement speed from the body armor. The Berserker handles that with its rage. Get a lot of rage, increases your movement speed, and the Pathfinder kind of handles it with its movement speed flask being up at all times. But I don't want to go super zoom, so I have evasion rating on the movement speed flask, and none of my other flask have movement speed. So I'm missing out on a movement speed node on the flask, which would make me go zoom, but I kind of like to go a little bit slower. This is plenty fast enough for me to run. I can go much faster. In fact, I'll put it on for this example. I can't even talk properly. I'll put it on for this specific example instead of saying for, but whatever. We'll do that guy. We'll throw on just so I'm a little bit faster with the flask. As you see, I'm moving a little bit faster, and I really need to focus on talking properly instead of fumbling my words. And you can throw anything in here. You can run it however you want. The damage is so high that no matter how inefficient you are in building this, if you stack, I should just give up on life. If you stack strength and you throw on this shield, this body armor, and I mean, it doesn't have to be this weapon, but this weapon's strong. You get a weapon with the 2 to 4 fire damage per 10 strength on there. And if you want to crit and accuracy, you get there, but you don't need this either. If you want to go wild, you can use a replica abyssus if you really want to. And then original sin. The original sin's expensive. You can do it without original sin, but I'm doing original sin because I got it, and I'm using one of these because I have it. I own this, and it's not that bad. The 11% elemental is good. The crit multi is okay. The attributes help for the strength, the added chaos, chaos resistance, 60% increased chaos damage while affected by Herald of Agony. Herald of Agony has 60% buff effect, which is important to get me to, what am I, 105% chance to poison. 104% chance to poison, and I am taking no poison nodes. I have this on the amulet, but that's because it was on there from before, and I don't really want to re-roll and go get a corrupted oil, so I'm just going to leave it on there. It's a good node. 10% attack speed on its own is great, and then the multiplier for poison, that's pretty nice too. I think it's the only poison multiplier I have. So this isn't really a poison build, it's an attack build, but I'm a Pathfinder, and because I'm a Pathfinder, I have this poison node and this wither node, so I'm kind of trying to splash a little hair of poison in there. It's like 20% more damage from the poison, so it makes this chance to poison pretty good. And I'm already getting the flat damage, and you can run so many different sockets on here. Added lightning damage, strong. Added cold damage, less strong than added lightning, but still good. And then obviously void manipulation, you're gonna want on all of them. Chance to poison is only for me because I'm poisoning. Every other build is gonna use something different. Let's see what the big dogs are using. Let's get rid of this Pathfinder and let's go, not Chieftain. Let's go Berserker because that's what most people are doing. What's this big dog doing on his Mr. Craze, the leader on the deeps? Volatility support just like me. Concentrated effect support. No one's really going to be using that. Awakened void manipulation, pulverize, and awakened multi-strike. So you're using that combo. But this is so overpowered And I kind of hate it because this is how Path of Exile goes. You have to get a mechanic that's just going to stack and stack and stack damage and make those damage multiply against each other. Now, one of the things he has that I don't, because I don't give a shit about rolling this, is he has all of these spell cluster jewels. Like this guy right here, the added passive skills have 35% increased effect, 4 to all attributes, 4% increased damage, and 8 strength. This cluster jewel is like a mirror. This is a mirror tier cluster jewel here. And this build is pretty bonkers. But I am not about to drop a mirror on a cluster jewel. And I already have this chaos cluster jewel that has 4 strength, and that's good enough because these mechanics are so overpowered that it doesn't matter. It works. You throw this on, you turn off your brain, and you can be as inefficient as you want, and it's just going to work. Now, I built it's funky. As a Pathfinder, you obviously want to get these bad boys because they're really good. But I have this guy here, which is going to give me extra strength there, extra strength there. I'm only grabbing this for the mana reservation efficiency. I like the mana reservation efficiency on this node better than these nodes here because I'm not using a lot of auras. I'm just using Grace, Herald of Agony, Haste, and Vitality, and that's it. So I don't really care too much about pumping my auras. I just got to get enough to where I can run those ones, and this does it. And on top of that, I get 20% increased physical damage, which isn't that great, but the fact that all of the physical damage I have is some of that's being converted to elemental, so when I get a little bit of this extra fizz, it's starting as fizz, then it's going to elemental, then it's going to chaos, so it has a chance to triple dip a little bit of damage. And it's better than it seems, but it's not great. Obviously, I'd want strength here, but I got 20 strength there, 20 strength there, 20 strength there, and I was running a projectile skill, so I had 20 strength there. Right now I'm not running any projectiles, so I'm going to riff on that, and I'll just pop a couple life nodes over here, just for simplicity's sake. And I'm running this super awkward all the way up here, all the way around, just so I can get these split personalities, which are really cheap this league. I think these, I don't have a Awakened POE trade up. I probably ought to open that. Awakened POE trade. I think they're like 20 chaos for a strength and a life one, and I'm getting 63 strength and 63 life on this guy, which is really high, and then 58 and 58. I could put another medium cluster. I don't really care, but 47 nodes to get there. That's pretty good. You can obviously go better and do more interesting stuff, but the fact that I had this cluster jewel, I kind of had to grab these nodes here, so this is just how it ended up working. It might be better if I path up this way and then loop down and then get it that way instead of grabbing these nodes, you know, and go over this way. It'll also let me get this, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it like this. The point of this video is that these mechanics are so overpowered that it doesn't matter. You could be the most amateur person in the world. If you got currency, just buy some of this gear and everything will work. And I'm gonna demonstrate that everything will work here. I'm just gonna run a bunch of maps, and every map I'm gonna switch my skill up. You can use any skill you want. Right now I just have cyclone, so this is gonna be the cyclone, and I have a taste of hate on another character that might be a little bit better to use, but I don't have a lot of room for skills, so in order to throw a taste of hate on there, I'd have to get rid of one of these, and I'm using this guy to literally get all of my, look at my resistances. And since I'm a Pathfinder, I might as well capitalize on the Pathfinder. 1 flask, all my resistance is fixed. I don't think I have resistance on any of my gear. None of my gear has any resistance. So this entire build is completely resistance free. There's no resistances on anything. Well, this has chaos, but that doesn't matter. There's no resistances on anything, and as a Pathfinder, I don't need resistances, because I have that flask up pretty much all the time as long as I'm hitting enemies. And everything, it's just way overpowered, way overtuned. So any other build that you try to make that's a melee build, it's just not going to compare to this damage, especially if you go with the Berserker. You're going to be in the 100 million damage range. Super easy. and super quick. Now, if you have those spell cluster jewels, that's even more damage, but I don't have those, and I don't feel like rolling them. I've been playing this strength stacking stuff for quite a bit, and I'm a little bit over it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I think I might play Liza P and take a break from Path of Exile for a bit until the November League stuff comes out. I don't know. As you can see, Cyclone works. It's just working. Get that guy in the mix. Awaken melee splash support. I got a ton of Awaken gems from these bosses. Way more than I thought I would. They just constantly spraying down on me. Boop, that map is done. That is Cyclone. Let's throw, I'm not going to throw Reeve on because Reeve is the best skill and that's what the main one uses. Everyone probably already knows that Reeve is amazing. So let's go Charge Dash. Just replace the Cyclone and now we are Charge Dashing. All of this works, all of that works. Neat, neat, neat. Charge Dash. Let's grab a map. I don't think I like Promenade. What's going to be good with Charge Dash? I want to do one with, I'll do an alleyway, so that's going to be perfect with Charge Dash. Cannot regenerate. You know what? I need the regenerate. I was going to say I don't even care, but I actually need that regenerate. Actually, I probably didn't. Doesn't matter. Well, let's make sure my maps are sexed up. Forgot to hold shift. And let's try Charge Dash. Whee! 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 Now the good thing with Charge Dash, if you out on this weapon, you instead of having chaos damage, you had something like physical damage. You can actually get your weapon to stack fizz, and then if you have gloves that convert like mine, it only does 30% here, but you can also do the top part, the implicits, and get convert there, and then you can be at 100% super easy, and then Charge Dash converts 50, and then that physical is then going to go to elemental, which is then going to go to chaos. So if you have a physical weapon, you can do it there too. Now I am terrible with Charge Dash. I find it to be a very difficult skill to use, but the Charge Dashers out there, once they get addicted to Charge Dash, they have a hard time using other skills. Because Charge Dash, once you're good at it, it's an amazing skill for clear speed and mobility and tankiness. Has the benefits of channeling, the benefits of convert. But I am not good at Charge Dash. And it also makes me a little motion sick, so I can't use Charge Dash on the regular. I've come to the realization that I don't know how to read over and over and over again, so I no longer hit strong boxes. I just don't hit them. They're gonna blow up on my face, and they're gonna kill me. So, you know, if I don't hit charge boxes, then I usually don't die very often. But I just took out this that dude super quick, and he was a metamorph boss, like random metamorph that goes through the map when you select the node for metamorph. Super quick, unoptimized, just willy-nilly, just winging it. And the combo is so strong that no matter what you do, your build's gonna work. Every build you try is gonna work. Every skill you play is gonna work. If it's attack skill, it's gonna work. And that map is done. Let's switch skills. What kind of skill we got? Oh, let's do something fun. What are my 21s I got up here? Blade Storm, that's not that fun. Mostly because I'd have to put Blood and Sand on. Ice Crash, that'll work perfectly fine. Yeah, sure, let's go Ice Crash. No, Ice Crash isn't any fun. We'll do that later. I want to do... Actually, let's do... I don't know what it's called. Lightning. A Static Strike. Let's throw Static Strike on here. And let's drop... We won't need... I don't think I'll need... Life Tap with Static Strike. Static Strike. 15 mana is the cost. What can I do for a support here? Awakened Chain. Yeah, let's throw Awakened Chain on there. 23, 20... It's like perfect. So I'm not going to be able to do multiple hits, but I'm going to hit once and then run away. You know what? I don't need Fortify. I don't want to mess with the mana cost. So Life Tap over Fortify, even though Fortify is excellent. Dun, 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 and I didn't grab a map. Let's grab a map. Da, 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 ba, da, ba. Let's just do a channel. I do that all the time. I am not good with clicking my mouse where it needs to go. Now this one's excellent because it's going to use my charges. As you saw, it's going to use the actual exerts, which is then going to cast Withering Step and Molten Shell. And in my opinion, this needs to get nerfed. This makes every other melee build so much harder to build around. And if they try to fix melee and make it stronger, this build is going to go from 1.5 billion to even higher because of the way the scaling works. It's a nightmare to level this. I mean, to fix this kind of an issue. It's an issue to me. Some people might not view it as an issue, but being able to get this much power for that low of effort, obviously it costs a lot of currency, especially to get the Original Sin, but you can do this without Original Sin. Original Sin is just really nice to have for this. It's not needed in the slightest. In fact, you can get, you can probably get to 50% of the damage without Original Sin, and, you know, that's plenty. You can get 100 million damage easy without Original Sin. That does not mean that the build is cheap, because that weapon and helmet are still super expensive, but you won't be using that helmet if you don't have Original Sin. You'll be using a different helmet. Pretty much any helmet you want. So Static Strike is really fun with this build, because you can just punch one dude and then run through the map. It's kind of like a walking simulator. Not exactly my favorite kind of build, but it also kind of feels like Arc, and Arc feels great. So it's like an Arc attack skill. You attack once and then all of a sudden you have an auto Arcer. For super dense content, if you don't have any form of pop, Arc is not that great, but if you have a form of pop, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I say Arc, I mean Static Strike, obviously. You have a pretty high and low, so obviously I do 8,000 minimum and 168,000 maximum. So some of your hits are going to feel like they don't do anything, and other hits are just going to wreck everybody's face off with Nicolas Cage. And just remember, I'm using a Pathfinder that is somewhere between 2 and 10 million damage. And the results are just bonkers. Imagine this being 1.5 billion damage with this static strike. Obviously you won't get 1.5 billion with static strike, you need reeve for that. But you can get 300 million with static strike easy, and then you're just gonna be blasting through these maps. And that map is done. Let's go to the tried and the true. Mr. Smite. Smite is an obvious pick. That'll work just fine. We don't run an underground river yet, so let us pump it up, make it rare. Underground river. Another good thing about this setup, if you're using the original Sin, is you can run any map. At least I can run any map as a Pathfinder. As a Berserker, because they don't have Reflect Chaos, I think you're gonna need, I guess you need probably Leech and Regen, so you can't do the Leech and Regen ones. Or maybe you can do no Regen, but you have Leech, but you can't do one that has both Regen and Leech turned off. Oh, this has a Vol aspect, so let's still throw the Vol on. And I have attack block capped. Obviously my resistances are up there because of that class. My evasion is like 60%, 54% with Grace. So the evasion's pretty important just because of how low my regen is, and I have almost no recoup. So Grace works better than Determination simply because I'll die from not having enough life regeneration if I don't have Grace on. And I'm running this Progenesis, and with Progenesis and Corrupting Fever... No, that's not... I can never remember the name of these new ones. The low life one. Corrupting Blood, Corrupting Fever, Corrupting... Maybe it's not even Corrupting. Oh, it's Petrified Blood. There you go. I don't know why it's Petrified Blood. I don't know how that makes any sense from a logistics standpoint. Not logistics, from a logical standpoint. But whatever. I can't use Petrified Blood because I don't have the life regeneration with Progenesis. And if I'm gonna pay the money to have a Progenesis, I'm gonna use it. Even though I think the build is better without Progenesis on this Pathfinder build and using low life and all that jazz. But I was dying too much with low life and Progenesis, so I had to either get rid of Progenesis or get rid of low life, and I got rid of low life. Since I don't need precision, which is the main reason I do low life, is to be able to squeeze precision, vitality, a banner, blood and sand, all on my life pool. Alright, obviously Smite's gonna work, right? Obviously Smite's gonna work. So we had Cyclone, we had Smite. What's the next skill we wanna... Let's clear out this inventory. What's the next skill we wanna try out here? Let's do a projectile. Attack skill, that's a projectile. Cobra Lash. Let's go Cobra Lash. And for Cobra Lash, we're going to need a claw. This is just going to show that, you know, you can just swap out a little claw. I have a claw somewhere that's decent. Spell damage, lightning, attack speed, crit chance. Yeah, this claw is essentially the same as this weapon. A little bit different. It doesn't even have the top modifier, which is actually one of the best modifiers, the 2 to 4 fire damage. Doesn't have that, but you know, we'll throw that on there. We don't need Awakened Chain. Life tap. Let's get rid of Smite. I can't use... Obviously, it'd be better if I recolored it for this one. I'll just use Cruelty. It'll be memeable if I don't have any... If I just use the 1. I'll throw it in there just in case it doesn't work. I haven't used this skill in forever because the damage is so low. And the damage on this Cobra Lash is super low. Super duper low. Oh, I don't need that. So I can just put this red in there. Because it has a chance to poison right on it. And for this one, we'll need an open map. That'll feel good. So let's give that strand I just found. A summit's pretty open. We'll do a summit. And I did a Venom Gyre on my own off camera just to see if it worked, and Venom Gyre worked just fine. And again, it just works. You get this set up, you can play any skills you want, any type of build. If it's an attack skill, you can play it and it will work. And this is at like 50% gear optimization. If you're a min-maxer, you can see that this really isn't that spectacular. This is going to be pretty rough for the bossing because of how low the damage is here. But it'll get the job done. I'm not really stacking any crit multi or crit chance. I get it from some of the items that... Oh. Corrupt me. Yeah. Ooh, corrupt me. Come on. They take a bit, but they eventually corrupt me. Is he dead? He dead. Witnessed by me. Let's finish the map. Why not? Have a good skill to finish the map with. Nice and fun. This is one of my favorite skills in the game. The damage is so low that I never use it. But with this, I can use it if I really wanted to. What am I? Oh, that's the end of the thing. It's like, what the hell am I stuck on? Get me a few essence. In terms of auras, if you wanted to use... Wait, am I using... Yeah, I'm using haste. You can use Wrath if you want. Wrath is actually a pretty good aura because all of your elementals being converted. So if you want to use Wrath instead of haste, you can use that. If you want to stack a little bit of reduce aura effect, you can use both Wrath and haste. You can get rid of Grace and use Wrath if you want. But the Grace just makes it super comfy because you're dodging most of the stuff. And the stuff you're not dodging, you are blocking with your max block. And your max block is really easy to get to. Chance to block 80%. I'm only rocking 1 block node, but if I up my strength a little bit, and the only reason I'm rocking this block node is I get a little strength on it, so it's already kind of nice to have there. And I get 20% armor, so it's just, I'm only using it because it combos off of here. But if your strength is a little higher than mine, because I'm only at 1800, if we look at some of these big dogs, this Cray, who's the highest guy, he's got 2,960 strength, which is just bonkers, but he's getting that from his mirror tier large cluster jewels that also grant spell damage, which is going to be great for the flat. And mine just grant chaos, which is good for both the chaos damage scaling, the poison damage scaling and the flat damage scaling. But if you want to go ham with it, you can get those 12 spell ones and then not roll any actual attributes, I don't know what you call it, any nodes on it, and just get attributes instead. Let's grab another map and another skill. Let's do a strand. I'm probably out of sex. I always forget to put the sex on. You really need to like have a little thing right here, or let you put these sections right here or something, or you just right click these and it'll auto apply it. So that way you don't forget as easy. Because I forget all the time, and I'll run like 5 maps without any sextons on it. Extra monster life. All right, so let's drop Cobra Lash. What should we play? Let's go back to the sword, since the sword is better. Actually, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's use just this sword. Remove it from the sale house, the auction house, the sale tab. Let's pump this up. Let's color it right. Come on, give me the triple. Oh, baby, a triple. Don't make me go to the bench. Don't make me go to the bench. I'll go to the bench. Oh, I just skipped it. Oh my lordy. There we go. Just so I don't have to do any coloring of anything else. And again, this assassin mark is pretty useless for the way I'm doing it. Alright, so we have that lame sword with just 2 mods on it. And I'll just grab the reeve so you see what the real skill looks like. Because reeve is the real skill you want to be using with this. We don't need projectiles. We need poison. Chance to poison. So this is by far the best skill, because reeve has massive AoE. It works with the Battlemage's Cry, as you can see, and Vol Reeve gets you AoE for days. So this is the best option out of all the attack skills. You obviously want multi-strike, but I don't care to put it on. I'll use it without it. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be getting those strong boxes because they always blow up in my face. And I never know how to read. I don't know, it might just be me, but I think reading is the antithesis of an ARPG that is like grinding loot based. You gotta grind that loot, then you gotta stop to read stuff. I feel that clashes with the gameplay style that I'm going for. So the strong boxes, they make you read, or you just have to remember that they're gonna blow up. And the same with the, I don't know what you even call those, Eldritch mobs, I think is what you would call it. The blue and the red buff. You have to read those little totems before you select them, or you're gonna get something that wrecks your build. And I don't like to read. I like to open a map and kill shit. Reading's for the birds. This ain't no Harvard, this is just Path of Exile. Because we all know that in order to get into Harvard, you have to know how to read. I don't think they'll let you go to Harvard if you don't know how to read. Other colleges, yeah, you can probably get into. Actually, no. You can probably get into Harvard if you don't know how to read, as long as your dad is rich and famous and powerful. Because something like 60% of all of the attendees of Harvard come from elite families. And they get in purely because of that elite family status. Because Harvard is a bit of a sham. But don't listen to people that say don't go to college. They're dumb. Don't go to college if you're not going to be able to get a job out of the degree that you got from going to college. Going to college is always a good idea. Almost always a good idea. Now, if you're going to be a painter or an artist, like maybe college isn't worth it. But if you're an artist and you go to Berkeley, like I think that's like the art school, like the very popular art school. I think there's also one in New York. If you go there, it's going to be such a boon to your profession. Assuming you have some talent and drive. Drive is more important than college across the board. People that are driven will be successful regardless of where you put them. There's this like oh, I can use this weapon here if I really wanted to. There's this anti-college like sentiment going around on the internet where everyone says college is a waste of time, and to an extent, if you're getting like an English degree and you don't know what you're going to use that English degree for, yeah, that's a waste of money by far. If you get a degree in computer information systems or engineering and then you go into that field, that degree, not only is it almost mandatory, it's going to give you probably $1 million extra over the lifetime of your life. I got a degree, and I'm pretty lazy. I am an average across the board at everything I do at work, and I make good money. And a big part of that is getting a degree. I didn't even go to a prestigious school or anything like that. Just having the degree, huge help. So all you young kids, because that's all that watches YouTube apparently, all you young kids, if anyone's telling you don't go to college, don't listen to them. Unless you're an idiot. If you're not a smart person, like you struggled through high school, which I don't understand how anyone can struggle through high school. But if you struggled through high school and got like a 15 on your ACTs, yeah, you probably don't want to go to college. Or if you're going to be something like an air traffic controller, college isn't really going to do anything for you there. I'm just running reeve again with my real weapon to show that reeve is the best with this. Kinda wanna go back and kill those guys. They were smart-eyeing me. So one of the most important thing about a college degree, I've hired people before, and I almost exclusively hire college graduates. And the reason I almost exclusively hire college graduates is it shows that they can put up with an additional 4 years of bullshit, and they're willing to pay for it in order to do that. Which means when they come to work for you, at minimum, you know that they can handle bullshit, and they did it for 4 years, handle these little remedial tasks that they were given in college. So when you hire them for your job, they've already proven a level of competency to get a college degree. Or if you hire someone without a college degree, you don't know their level of competency. Obviously, you can learn that in an interview. And if they interview well without a college degree, I'll hire someone who doesn't have a college degree if they like nail an interview. But the odds of getting an interview at these tech firms without a college degree is basically non-existent. Unless you already have worked, like let's say you've worked at Google without a college degree somehow, nepotism, because that's how most people get jobs at Google or any of these big tech firms. They know someone who works there, and they're able to get an interview through the people that work there. The interview is still going to happen. You can't really interview for a programming job without being able to do the job. So no amount of nepotism is going to give someone who's unqualified for the job a job, but it will give people that are less qualified for the job a job simply because they know somebody. But they'll be able to perform the job for sure. But assuming they got a job in at Google with no college degree and no nepotism, and they work at Google for 5 years, that 5 years at Google will be more valuable than a college degree. But you're not going to get that 5 years at Google without a college degree unless like your dad is a VP or a director, or you have good friends there and they can pull you in, or maybe an internship. If you can get yourself into an unpaid, or I think all Google's internships are paid. They pay pretty low, like $100K a year for Google internship. If you can get in on an internship, that's kind of the route to go. That's what you really want to do. Alright, you saw it at its best skill. Reeve is the best skill for this. Static Strike, probably the most fun. But let's try something else. Attack. What do we got? I already did Cyclone. Pestilent Strike, I would have to put the claw back on. Let's throw Ice Crash in here. Let's drop Cruelty. Let's add in... I don't know what I'm going to add in for this poison. I think I just add in Close Combat. Why not? And do a little Ice Crashing. Now, Ice Crash is going to be pretty slick because all that physical damage I have is converted. But all that massive 42 to 78 physical damage that I got is going to be converted over. We got a Dunes here. We got a Dunes here. Whoops, wrong item. And the reason I'm doing this, a lot of people have preferences of what skills they like to use. Some people are Earthquake boys. They want to just use Earthquake, but Earthquake's in not the best state right now. So they're like, well, I want to play Earthquake, but I don't have the damage to play Earthquake, so I'm going to play something that gives me more damage, like Bone Shatter. But with this setup, you just get all the damage. You just get it all. And you can play anything you want. Because it's broken. But let's say they decide to buff melee, right? If they buff melee, this specific melee build is gonna go absolutely apeshit. I'm already doing ludicrous damage as a Pathfinder, not even getting benefits really of the exertion. And it's just it's too much damage for the amount of effort. It's expensive, but it's too much damage for the effort. And that's the motto of this video. Too much damage for the effort. So when people say something like, oh, melee's in a great state, know that they're wrong. There's a handful of melee builds that are in a good state. Basically, any melee skill that is using this combo, the melee skill is not in a good state. This combo is in a good state. So there's a couple of really strong synergies in this game that make melee in a good state. But building an honest melee build that doesn't have any like overlapping damage stats or something bonkers like strength stacking, it's gonna be trash, always. Lightning Strike was popular for a long time because you were able to get a double damage situation. I think maybe even triple. If you stood in the right spot and you hit it the right way, it would hit multiple times, making Lightning Strike a good melee choice. Then you have Bone Shatter, which you get enough attack speed, and those trauma stacks are going to stack up like crazy. But that does not mean that melee is in a good state. That means that you can make melee work in a couple examples. And this is one of those examples. What's a silly skill? I'm trying to think of it like just the most ridiculous skill I could think of. Oh, volcanic fissure. Volcanic fissure. Let's give that a shot. Make sure everything works with it. And then close combat isn't the best. Actually, let's meme it up. Instead of close combat, let us grab greater multiple projectiles. Oh, that requires a mace. I can't use that one. I don't have a mace. Actually, I do have a mace set up that I can use. It's in my unique items. Mace, it was already there. This guy right here. I can use either of these, really. Attacks with this weapon deal double damage to chilled enemies. How do I chill enemies? Oh, no. This one makes chaos damage chilled, so I want to do that one. And I'll just run it without these 3 skills. I don't need the assassin mark. Wait, why are you still... Does it not work with... Oh, now it doesn't work with close combat because I didn't put it on. Well, maybe I could use the sword. Hold on. Maybe it's just close combat that it didn't. Mace, axe, scepter, unarmed, staff. No, I can't use a sword. I've never really used this skill very much. Greater multiple projectiles. There we go. Chateau. Let's meme it up. Let's meme it up. Wow, this map is just empty. 63% pack size my ass. Give me damn scarabs. I'll take scarabs. Take scarabs all day. Damage over time, the bane of my existence. Yeah, suck it, Sin. I'm not gonna run through the rest of this map. It was terrible density. And let's just, with this terrible skill that I'm using on a whim, let us do the Maven Invitation. I didn't even read the mods. I hate grasping vines so much. Why do we need that in this game? We don't. Get rid of it. No one wants to go slow. There's no skill where you can avoid grass. There's no skill involved. Anything that slows you down, there's no skill involved that you can't avoid, they need to axe. It's not good gameplay. It really isn't. Us Dark Souls players, we're all familiar with tough but fair. That's just annoying. Not fair, not tough. There's no gameplay mechanic. It's just you're slow because we feel like mobility in this game allows you to not die, and we need everybody at the brink of death. I might die for the first time in this video. The damage was a little too low because I switched to the mace in order to use this skill. And, you know, I'm just not optimized for it. But it still works. Also got some pretty tough bosses. Yeah, fine. I'll take it off. I'll take it off and put this back on. Just to finish this up. Get rid of volcanic fissure. Do we have another attack skill we want to try? No, throw a blade storm in there. Why not? Let's do Awaken Cold. Let's just throw Awaken Cold in there. Why not? Stuck in blood stance. I'd probably prefer to be in sand stance since I'm not bleeding, but you know. Killed this guy. He's being a dick to everyone. Who else is alive? Let's just run a map with this. I hate the lava chamber map, so let's switch it. Ooh, silo, perfect. For this strategy, getting these Maven invitations is the entire profit model. Each one of these is like a divine, and you get them super quick. And if you want to go wild, you could run these guys. I just have so many of them. I don't like to run them that much. I have all these maps. I should just sell these maps and just get it over with, because you have to wait so long for each one of these bosses that it's just super annoying. I think these ones are fine. The Chimera, the Hydra, the Phoenix. But these ones, you have to wait for each one of them. And then these ones are not quite as bad. But I hate these ones. I don't like to wait for shit. Don't make me wait. Corrupt me. Hell yeah. Corrupt me. Oh yeah, I am ghosted. Oh yeah, no strongbox clicking. It's gonna blow up on my face. And I never get anything good in the strongboxes. Not once. Not once in my entire time playing Path of Exile has a strongbox given me anything worthy of getting excited over. And you may think, when I say things like, this build needs to be nerfed, you may be like, no, this build doesn't need to be nerfed. But until builds like this are nerfed, combos like this are nerfed, they can't fix melee. And they won't fix melee. Until stuff like this is out of the game, they just can't fix melee. And it's these overpowered melee builds that are keeping melee down as a whole. Because believe it or not, when you're looking at like maximum damage builds, these melee builds that get mirror tier weapons are just bonkers, because you could pay a mirror to get some of these just insane high DPS weapons, and it transforms all of these melee builds into good builds. So it's highly weapon dependent. So in order to fix melee, they probably have to adjust the weapon damage and adjust all these builds that use absolutely broken mechanics. I don't feel like going back in there. Damage over time, bane of my existence. The worst thing in Path of Exile. I think I'm going to make a tier list of the worst things in Path of Exile that GGG needs to fix. And dot everywhere in every map is going to be one of them. I'm going to go back to Cyclone, because Cyclone is like my favorite skill. Because you can turn your brain off and you can just roll the Cyclone. I'm going to talk about why Cyclone is good for my current setup. And that's kind of why I did this. I want to do some Cyclone. We'll keep Volatility and we'll do Fortify. So with Fortify, Cyclone, you're just doing a lot of damage, but you're unable to trigger Battlemage's Cry. So let us cast when damage taken. Let's just throw our Molten Shell down here. We won't be getting any Withering Step, but that's fine. But we're going to want that Molten Shell triggering on cast when damage taken. Alleyways. Yeah. I mean, I don't even really need to read these. I think I'm good with everything except for maps that you can't regenerate or leech. I think I can do no leech, and I think I can do no regeneration, but I don't think I can do neither. So the Cyclone is really cool for poison builds, because you can just stack that poison damage really fast. And you just keep on moving. And you keep on, if you really wanted to the whole time, you can Cyclone, just keep it moving. Now the body armor has a negative 10% movement speed, so you're probably going to want better movement speed to play a Cyclone build comfortably. But being someone who is a big fan of the Cyclone playstyle, this is one of the ways you could play Cyclone. Because Cyclone is a trash skill. On its own, without Shockwave, Cyclone is absolutely garbage tier. Damage-wise, the only thing good about Cyclone is the utility, but they need to make Cyclone great again. We need to get a, what do you call it, Saga? Like Maga, but for Cyclone? Siga? I don't know how you would say a C in there, because English is dumb. You can pronounce C 1,000 different ways. But they've nerfed the crap out of Cyclone over the years, primarily because of Cock. And now that Cock is properly taken care of with its ultra-high mana cost, Cyclone needs a buff. Needs an area of effect buff, and it needs a damage buff. Both of those are highly needed. Cyclone might be one of the most modified skills in the game. I have no idea that claim. This might be a thing because I play Cyclone. I notice the changes that get made to Cyclone more so than other skills. But I think it has a change log for skills, which I'll pop up after this. I think this will be my last build, just to show, you know, this is incredible. With Pathfinder not even capitalizing on the exert part of this build, and it just works. Let me see. Let's pop open a new tab here. Cyclone, POE. We got one of these, I think, has like a patch notes section. It's not this site. Wait. Community wiki. Oh, look at these modifications. Oh, they got a small buff here. No longer makes you move to stun. Here was the big nerf, I think. Yeah, this whole block, I think 3-7, 3-8, 3-11, 3-13. This is like the big cyclone killer. Anyhow, I just wanted to make everyone aware of this OP mechanic and how quickly you can get your damage up. So if you're sitting on, you know, 1,000,000 divines and you feel like making a very average build that you could throw any skill on and just have a good time, this is what you can do. Now, if you want to make a great build, you roll a Berserker and you include that exert stuff, because on the Berserker you do way more damage with exerted skills. And if you want to get crazy, there's that helmet. I think I have one. If you want to get nuts, you can throw this helmet on here. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Maybe I sold it. It's the new helmet where you only deal damage with exerted attacks. Yeah, I think I sold it. I definitely found one. Stupid, ugly green helmet. Or I'm just passing it over because I do that a lot. Items. Helmet. This guy. Warcry speed, not that useful. Life leech from exerted attacks is instant. Non-exerted attacks deal no damage. Oh, I thought this added a bunch of... Never mind. Why would you want this? Just to get life leech is instant? I mean, life leech is instant is great. Yeah, I want to use this. I thought this added exertion damage, so I am mistaken. It's a good thing to read these. I always kind of like, I read them real quick at first, and then in my head I get a picture, okay, that green mask is for exerted skills. So because in my head I know the green mask is for exerted skills, I just made the assumption that it also increases damage, but it just removes damage from anything that's not exerted. But your exerts are already pretty quick. And if you got a high damage weapon with low attack speed, or you're doing something like static strike, you can throw a helmet on, and only doing damage with exerts is just fine. But anyways, another hidden benefit of this, if we take a look at my life nodes, I got one block here, that guy, and these. And that's it really for life. And because I'm stacking strength, my life is 5,218. And technically, I can undo all these life nodes and just get more strength nodes and be just fine. It makes me sad that I'm not pathed into here because we have a 20 strength, a 10 strength, and a 20 strength. Nice little nodes here, and I'm not getting that. And as a Berserker, you are probably going to grab those. But I'm getting these guys anyways. Just wanted to talk about this extremely overpowered mechanic with Battlemage's Cry. Oh, this helmet even has 15% increase Battlemage Cry effect. Let's do some POE ninjaing, and let's just take a look at some of this pricing. So we want critical strike chance and accuracy, and let's do a search here. So we're looking at 10 divines for this type of a setup. If you get rid of the helmet, it's still 10 divines, because I think only people running these two things are running it on this helmet, so you get this extra cold, which is pretty nice. Maybe that life will drop it. So 5 divines is a very expensive helmet. That's pretty standard. It's not going to be too bad. This kind of a belt, let's take a look. And that's all you really need. Let's put the abysmal slot on there. So 5 divines for the belt. Also pretty expensive, but if you want to use a coil, you can use a coil and get your attributes that way. Let's take a look at this kind of an amulet. This isn't the best amulet that you want. 1 divine for the amulet. You want the chaos damage as well, and it doesn't exist. I bought this a long time ago, and I have, you know, as the league progresses, some of this gear you just can't buy. So obviously you can't buy it with the chaos damage on there at all. There's not a single one for sale. So mine and mine alone. I might pop it on there for a mirror to see if someone's crazy wants to get this for a mirror. Just because. Alright, I'm gonna ruin this sword real quick. Since I'm on video, I might as well do something wild here. See, I've tried a bunch. With this original sin, I tried a bunch of different things. Like this weapon here looks pretty stellar, right? We got a triple damage node and critical strike chance, and then attack speed, and then chaos damage over time. But if I throw this bad boy on there and I spec fully into original sin plus this, and I don't go strength stacking, it is nowhere near the damage. It is over half of the damage. I mean, less than half of the damage that I have with something like this setup. So I was using this for cyclone, and I was doing, it was fun, but it was doing half of the damage that this was doing. And because I wasn't manipulating any mechanics to blow my damage up, give my damage a nice blowout. Oh yeah, I was gonna use that sword I had, this guy. I'm gonna regal this. Wait, no, it's already rare. Alright, here we go. 16% attack speed. A bit of a dud. A bit of a dud, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. Straight Exalted Orbing. I love Exalted Orbs now. Each one of these is 10 chaos, and as you see, it's really not that much to just do these Exalt Slams anymore. So I Exalt Slam all the time. Oh, look at that added lightning damage. A tier 1, oh, that's a tier 3 lightning on a smash. That is exactly what I would have wanted. Attack speed needs to be higher. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have one more node. Ugh, stun threshold. Garbage. That is gross. Even if it's the best one ever. But my luck, it's up there. I'm going to hit it with this. It's going to drop the stun threshold. Watch. Oh, it dropped the lightning damage. It's going to drop the stun threshold. Watch this. Watch this. Are you ready? Oh, I called it. No, we are back to where we were before we got the lightning roll. Here we go. Here we go. Lightning, max roll, physical. That's not that great. Not even a good roll of physical. Accuracy, another Dedaruni. But watch this, watch this. The luck, it's in my favor. It's gonna drop the physical. Oh, it ruined it all. It ruined it all. Now we get to start from scratch again. Alright, sure, we can start with physical, why not? Physical, cold, accuracy, no. Is that a flat, or is that a hybrid? Nope, that's a flat, that's a dud. Cold damage, sure. Dud dud. Spell damage, that's real nice. Dud dud. Damage with poison's nice. Fire's nice. If that's a hybrid fizz. Nope, that's a flat fizz. Lightning dispels. I need to do some harvest in order to convert these to usable ones. Because all these are not usable for any of the builds that I've made so far. Critical strike for spells, cast speed, impel effect. That's all I got. Do I have... I'm all out of that too. I'm all out of my crafting, all my crafting stuff. So I need to do some delve, I need to do some harvest. But realistically, I probably ought to play Lysa P. I've been putting way too many hours in this game. Let's see here. Library, Path of Exile. What kind of hours are we looking at here? 5,485.5 hours. I guess a lot of that is just being open and me having my wireless headphones on in case anyone wants to trade. I just kind of leave it open. But either way, I have a lot of hours in this game. A lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of fun. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. I wouldn't make videos if I don't enjoy making videos. Everything I do, I'm doing it purely because I enjoy it. And that is all. Video is now